You're all excited about your cruise vacation, but there are 10 things out there that can absolutely ruin this trip for you. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, Rob from Cruise Seekers, and today we are going to talk about the 10 things that can absolutely ruin your cruise vacation. Things that you just need to avoid at all costs. And when you do avoid them, your cruise vacation will be 10 times better than anything you could ever expected. But before we get into those 10 things, I just want to thank everybody who has become a member of this Cruise Seekers community. Thank you so much for doing it. It is so appreciated by us. And if you have not become a member just yet, hey, think about subscribing and turn that notification bell on. It does mean the world to us. We thank you so much for doing it. And while you're down there, hit that like button. It really does help this YouTube algorithm. It does help other people find this channel so that they can get these great tips about what not to do so that you can have a great cruise vacation and not ruin it. Thank you so much for hitting that like button. So now let's get into the list that I have of the 10 things that you need to avoid at all costs in order to have a great cruise vacation and not ruin it. Now, the very first thing that will grind your cruise to an absolute halt right off on the get-go is not having the right travel documentation. Make sure you have at least 6 months of validity left on your passport. If you're getting close to the end of your passport's life, you're getting close to its expiration date, make sure you get it renewed. Don't try to play around being too close to that expiration date. Sometimes certain countries will have a requirement of having 6 months left on your passport when you're entering into the country. Some might be 3 months. Don't play around with it. Make sure your passport has plenty of time left before it expires. And if you're traveling with the birth certificate, make sure it's an official birth certificate, one that is issued from the state that sent it to you, not a hospital birth certificate. Just because it has a raised seal doesn't make it official. Make sure it's a state issued birth certificate, not a copy. And while we're on documentation, I always tell people to make sure they have a printed copy of all their travel related documents from the cruise line, such as your booking invoice, such as anything you might have purchased from the cruise planner, your confirmation and order numbers. Make sure you have them as well when you go on your cruise. Anything from third party providers, such as excursions, such as travel insurance, make sure you have that all printed up with you when you get on your cruise ship, because you don't want to have to rely on the ship's internet. The next thing that will absolutely ruin your cruise vacation if you don't follow this advice is not getting to the port the day before of your cruise. You want to get to the port the day before your cruise. You don't want to have anything that could affect you getting on that ship. You want to have some buffer to be able to recover if anything goes wrong. This includes if you are driving. God forbid you get into an accident. God forbid you have some major traffic. You do not want to miss your ship. So always, always, always get to the cruise port the day before. This is not just for airports and how you have to deal with cancellations and maybe delays and having to get to the ship, with, minutes to spare. Don't play that game. Get to the ship's port before they leave at least 1 day ahead of time. Now, this next one is very related to the one we just talked about, and that is make sure you don't have to rush yourself to the airport after your cruise, because God knows you can be delayed getting into port for whatever reason. You could be delayed being cleared by customs. You don't want to have to kind of be running through the airport, trying to make a flight, stressing yourself out after a relaxing vacation, because the thing that you remember the most is the last thing that happened to you on your vacation, and that can ruin it. So don't ruin your vacation by putting your flight back home too close to when you're getting off the ship. It will absolutely ruin it. Me personally, I like to stay at the cruise port one more day after my cruise. I can get off the ship nice and leisurely whenever I want to, go into a nice hotel, relax the day before of my travel, and then go home. Who needs to stress on a travel day getting off a ship after a great vacation? The next big mistake that you can do on your cruise vacation is really kind of limited to those ones that are in high heat, high sun locations like the Caribbean. Don't forget to use sunblock. I know I've done this before. I say to myself, I don't burn. I have that Mediterranean skin. I don't burn. Well, it's a different sun down there, folks. Use sunblock. It does help. You don't want to ruin your start of your cruise vacation with a bad sunburn from day one that will just kind of linger and give you pain for 3 days thereafter. It's no fun. Use sunblock. The sun is different down when you get closer to the equator. The next big mistake that can ruin your cruise is not seeking out help if you're dealing with seasickness. If you're dealing with seasickness, go to the guest services area. They might have a couple of pills that they can give you to kind of help get you through the initial bout that you're dealing with. Go up to the buffet, get some green apples, cut them up, eat them, go to the top of the cruise ship, watch the horizon. It will make things a little bit easier if you can see the horizon. Ask other people on the cruise ship what they do about seasickness. They might even have some extra things that they will give you to help you get through your bout of seasickness. Someone might have an extra patch to go behind your ear. Someone might have an extra band. You never know. Seek out help. People are so amazing when you're on a cruise ship. Go out there, ask for help. People will help you. The next thing that can ruin your cruise vacation is when you're in port and you didn't do enough research, understanding exactly where you want to go, and you might fall into a tourist trap. Don't fall into this situation. Do some research about the port, figure out how you're going to get from point A to point B, figure out about how much money it's going to cost you. This way, you know right off the bat, when you get into a taxi, you know exactly what you're going to pay. Negotiate that before you actually leave your area. Make sure you don't fall into any kind of traps of someone carving your name into anything and then making you purchase it. You don't have to purchase anything you don't want. Don't fall into the traps. Learn from other people's mistakes, watch videos, read blogs, do those things, understand what you're getting into when you're going into different ports, and be prepared. Because God knows, when you get scammed, it just makes you feel horrible on the inside, and it will just ruin your whole feeling for that port, for that cruise from that point forward. It's just something that's not worth it. Do the research ahead of time. Avoid it to begin with. And the next thing I want to talk about that can absolutely ruin your cruise vacation is traveling with someone for the very first time on a cruise vacation. Don't do it. Get to know the person first on a different type of vacation. Cruise ships are kind of very difficult to escape from if it just doesn't work with you, with that person on this vacation. It's not like they're going to give you one of the lifeboats so you can get back home. They're not going to do it. Just understand that, cruise ships are a lot different than any other types of vacation. Make sure you know that person before getting on the cruise ship with them, and definitely make sure you understand all your travel partners that you're traveling with, that you want to make sure you want to travel with them. Another big mistake that can absolutely ruin your cruise vacation is overutilizing your drink package. Not only are you going to maybe be annoying to a lot of other people around you, but guess what? Your next day is going to be a horror story. And God forbid if you had an excursion planned, don't overutilize your drink package trying to get value from it. It's not worth it. It will ruin your cruise vacation. It will ruin your next day, and maybe even into the next day, just not feeling right. Who in the world needs that? Who needs to have that feeling of queasiness, especially on a moving vessel? It's no fun. Have fun with your drink package, enjoy it, but don't overutilize it. And the next thing that can absolutely ruin your cruise is not being a good consumer. I don't understand when we get on a cruise ship, like our minds go bonkers and we lose all perception of being a good consumer. Don't necessarily believe that when you see something on sale, 75% off, it's that really good of a sale. Do some research, ask someone around if they have the internet package, see that thing that you're looking at buying and see if you can find it on Amazon or any other place on the internet and see what the price is, because you know what? That sale might not be a great sale. Also, ask a lot of questions when you're purchasing. How do you return something if you don't like it? If someone doesn't like it as a gift, how do you get the return taken care of? There's a lot of questions you need to ask when you're on a cruise ship, especially if you're making a decent sized purchase. Ask if it's going to be on sale later on in the week. Protect your money. Still be a good consumer when you're on a cruise ship, because if you're not, it can ruin your cruise. Now, the final thing that can absolutely ruin your cruise vacation is not having travel insurance, unless, of course, you can self-insure. God knows, you never know when you're going to get sick. You never know if you're going to be needed to be taken off the ship by a helicopter. You never know if you're going to get hurt while you're climbing up Dunn's River Fall and you kind of fall over and twist your ankle and you need to go to the hospital. Always, always, always carry travel insurance. It will help you in a pinch. Make sure you take care of that. It does not cost a tremendous amount of money. It's going to cost you about the same as it will for an excursion. Make sure you have it. Have that peace of mind. Don't roll the dice. It will bite you in the butt. eventually, sometime, if you travel enough. So there you go, folks. Those are the 10 things that can absolutely ruin your cruise vacation. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. We really do appreciate if you do that. It does help the algorithm. It does help other people find this channel, and it helps them understand what they need to do and what they need to, kind of avoid in order to have a great cruise vacation. One more time, if you're not a member of this Cruise Seekers community, hey, hit that subscribe button. Turn that notification bell on. It really does mean the world to us. Thank you so much for doing it. Is there something that I missed on this list of things that will ruin your cruise vacation that will absolutely ruin one? Please let us know in the comment. We love comments. We love engaging with you folks in the comment section. So until we talk again next time, this is Rob from Cruise Seekers reminding each and every one of you to always seek the seas. Bye now.